You're now watching Colorado State University's student-run campus television, Channel 25, weeknights from 8 to midnight.
I'm here at Folsom Field, and tonight on Sportsfest, we'll have all of your highlights from the Rocky Mountain Showdown.
And I'm Richie Rodriguez filling in for Doug Starkey. The women's volleyball team took on Idaho State this week. I'll have all your volleyball highlights coming up. Sportsfest is next. Welcome to this week's Sports Fest alongside Brooke Schleidowitz. I'm Richie Rodriguez. We have lots of football highlights coming your way.
That's right. This weekend, the CSU football season began with what was quite possibly one of the most anticipated games on the Rams' schedule this year.
Well, if you missed the big game on Saturday, don't worry because we have the recap of all that happened in Boulder. Forward, we march into the first half of highlights. In the first quarter, it's the Buffs feeling the energy of the home crowd, and they will surely use that to their advantage. Justin Holland getting set for his first start of the season and looking to lead his team to their first victory. The CSU season is underway. CSU chooses to kick off, and on CU's first drive, it's Bobby Purify taking it 25 yards. Skirt! He's finally brought down at about the 4-yard line. 2 plays later, it's Purify again. Right through the middle. Gets the job done for the Buffs. First drive of the game and 7 on the board for CU. Now for CSU's first drive, and well, it's not as pretty. That 3-yard run right there by Marcus Houston was the highlight of that first possession. Rams are forced to punt in 4 downs. It's CU's turn again to crank up the offense. This time it's Klatt lofting one to Blake Mackey for a gain of 16 yards. Again, CU knocking on the door of the goal line. Klatt will take the QB sneak here and put 7 more up for CU. Heading into the second quarter, it's 14-0 in favor of CU. CU driving again early in the second, looking to extend their lead, but this time it's Miles Kochevar showing off the hands, laying out for that interception. A huge play for the Rams' struggling defense. Now looking to start some offense, it's Holland dropping back and looking over the middle. He finds Johnny Walker. Walker breaks 1 tackle and is taken down for a gain of 23 yards. The Rams would be forced to punt later on that drive. Meanwhile, CU's offense strikes again midway through the second quarter. It's Mason Crosby with a 31-yard field goal. Rams looking to counter, and it's Holland again over the middle. This time he finds who else but David Anderson. Rams finally get for a gain of 28 yards. Rams finally get their offense going, and it's Holland again hitting Dustin Osborne to pick up another 18 yards. CSU's offense rolling late in the second quarter, and it will finally show on the board as Holland looks to Matt Bartz. He comes down with it. CSU makes it 7-17, and that's the way it will stay heading into halftime. Bobby Purify for CU ran for 110 yards in the first half, while CSU quarterback Justin Holland late drive boosted what was a tough offensive first half for the Rams.
Luckily, things turned around for the Rams in the second half, but was it too little, too late? Let's go back to the highlights. The Rams continued the third quarter much how they left off in the second. Holland looking to drive, and he hits his favorite target, David Anderson. The catch is good for 22 yards and a Rams first down. Later in the drive, second and goal base to Houston. The touchdown is good. Jeff Babcock makes the extra point, and all of a sudden the Rams are back in it. Now back to the Buffs. Purify is given the ball again, and that can't be good for CSU. He picks up 21 yards, which would eventually help set up a field goal attempt. And when I say attempt, I mean attempt. Crosby's kick is no good. C-State's faithful followers like that one a lot. Let's fast forward to the fourth. The Rams still down by 3. You best believe that Holland wasn't going to let it stay that way, though. He makes another pass, and it's on the money for Dustin Osborne. 3 plays later, and the Rams are set for a 26-yard field goal. Babcock wasn't having problems on Saturday with that one. He easily puts it through the uprights, and all of a sudden, the game's tied. And the Rams are out at it again, or are they? Holland would step out on the field and work a little more magic. The Holland to Anderson connection never gets old. A minute later, CSU would strike again, this time at the goal line. The pass to Johnny Walker is complete for the touchdown. No one saw that one coming. CSU now back in the game and only trailing by 3. Colorado is handed the ball again, and C-State's defense comes up big. Real big. They shut down Purify and the Buffs in one set of downs. At this point, everything was pointing to a CSU win, but it all came down to the very last play. Only seconds on the clock, 3rd and 1 to the goal. Holland pitches the ball to Tristan Walker, and Walker is taken down. Time's up, and that's the game. That deserves a second look. After a bit of confusion before the play, the Rams can't get it together. C-State walks off the field in shock Saturday. Final score, 27-24. Justin Holland was 29 for 41 for 403 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. At the night's end, CU's Bobby Purify had carried the ball 26 times for 189 yards.
It's the worst feeling I've ever felt in my whole life. It was a game that I wanted really bad. A lot of guys did. And, just that far.
That I really admire Sonny Lubick for that last series. He went for the win. That was guts. That was coaching without fear. So I tipped my hat to him. I told him that we might not have won this if we played it in Vesco.
Yeah, we're hollering spike. They go out there and the crowd, you couldn't hear a darn thing. So yeah, I wish we would have spiked it and had a chance to think it over. I still probably wouldn't have kicked the field goal anyway. And there's no fan that ever went to Colorado State was embarrassed about this football team, the way they played tonight. Everything going against us, everything. Going to home field, going this, doing that, everything. And these kids come down, don't know any better, just go play football.
So Richie, I gotta know, what did you think of the Rams' performance on Saturday?
Well, I thought they came out very flat on both ends of the field to start, but gotta like the way they turned it around. Second half, I liked the way they came out, and I thought they were the better team. I also liked the chance we took on that last play there. I just wish it would have been just a little more thought out.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Holland run it in or pass on that last play there. I mean, the run game wasn't working all night, so why did we think it was going to work then?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah.
Now trivia time. It's time for this week's Random Ram Fact. When was the last time Colorado State beat Colorado in Boulder? We will have the answer coming up later in the show.
We're going to have to take a short time out, but when we come back, we'll have more from this weekend's Rocky Mountain Showdown.
We'll also take a look in on the volleyball squad's match last week against Idaho State.
And later, we'll preview the football team's highly anticipated showdown with number 1 USC.
Important on the CSU campus. CSU Bike Patrol officers work to maintain safety and regulate bicycle traffic. They need your help. Obey all posted signs. Make sure you have a light on your bike at night. Walk your bike in dismount zones. Yield to pedestrians at all times. By doing these things, you will be maintaining bicycle safety at CSU. For more information, call 491-6425.
Hello, I'm Dexter Yarbrough, Chief of Police of the Colorado State University Police Department. The CSU PD is a full-service law enforcement agency devoted to the welfare of the university community. We work hand-in-hand with our students, faculty, and staff to promote the educational and occupational experiences of all. For further information, feel free to contact us at 491-6425. 888-888-6425. And also, we're located here on campus in Green Hall. Thank you.
On Wednesday, the volleyball team played Idaho State at Moby Arena. After playing two of the top teams in the nation in the season-opening NACWA tournament, the Rams were more than ready to take on the Bengals of Idaho State. Let's see how they did. The Rams come out of warm-ups excited to start non-tournament play at Moby Arena. Early in the first game, it's Becky Saar with a kill attempt here. The first one is blocked, but she will try again, and this time she is successful. Making a statement early, Sauer had 6 kills on the night. Brie Freck with the serve. The Bengals are not able to establish their offense, and that will set up that kill by Katie Jo Cahoon. Rams take the first game 30-25. On to the second. It's Melissa Courtney to Brie Freck. Shazam! That was one of Freck's 8 kills on the night. Freck getting it done defensively as well with this big-time block. That boosted the Rams to win the second game with a little more ease, 30-22. In the third, it was Casey Bauer's show. Coming off the bench, she had 6 kills in only the third game, including that one right there. The Rams had no intentions of letting up in the third as they were looking for the sweep. Later in the third, it's Bauer with the serve, and watch the effort by Melissa Courtney. One dig. The Rams can't finish there, but don't worry, it's Courtney again with another dig, and watch as Bauer sends it back. The kill attempt wide by the Bengals, and the Rams win the third 30-25. Rams win in 3 games to none. Katie Jo Cahoon finished with 10 kills and 2 service aces, while Tess Rogers recorded 10 digs.
I'm not concerned at all. I know this wasn't our best match ever, but it was pretty good considering that we put a new lineup on the floor. And, we were staying pretty composed. We didn't get rattled. We didn't let it affect us. We didn't have a whole lot of point runs, long point runs scored on us. So I thought I was pretty happy.
If you just can't get enough of the Rocky Mountain rivalry, then chances are you might be making another trip to Boulder Tuesday night when the CSU volleyball team tangles with arch rival CU. Last season, the Lady Rams defeated the Buffs 3-1 at Moby Arena. Tomorrow night's match will be C-State's 29th meeting with the Buffs. CSU currently leads the series 17-11. The last time the Rams visited Boulder was 2002, when they fell 3-1. It's the volleyball version of the Rocky Mountain Showdown tomorrow night at the Coors Event Center, starting at 7 o'clock, and you can hear every minute of the action on 90.5 KCSU. The pregame show is at 6:30, followed by the full broadcast with Chris Dittmer and Travis Huntington. Immediately after the CU match, the Rams will head to the Great Northwest. On Wednesday, they will be in Pullman to take on the Washington State Cougars. The following night, they will travel to Spokane to battle the Gonzaga Bulldogs.
The CSU men's and women's cross-country teams started their season last Friday at the Wyoming Invitational. The men won the event with 27 points overall, while the women placed second with 57 points. Next up is the CSU Open on Saturday. We're halfway through the show. Don't forget about the random Ram fact. We'll have that answer coming up.
And next up, Richie and I will break down and analyze CSU's performance in the 2004 Rocky Mountain Showdown.
Plus, later we'll go for an all-expenses-paid trip around the Mountain West. Sportsfest returns in 2.
The Laurie Student Center is the place to be. It's the place for taking care of business and the place to buy and sell textbooks. It's the place for staying connected, student organizations, leadership programs, and more, all right here. It's the place to eat. It's the place for entertainment. There's always something happening at the LSC. Movies, art exhibits, and special performances. Check it out online.
The Lowry Student Center is definitely the place to be.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Ramblers.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday night. Welcome to the Ramblers. I am Travis Huntington.
I'm Tyler Kraus.
I'm Chris Dittmer. A great game this weekend.
Another huge game for the Rams.
Don't forget to tune in to the Ramblers every Tuesday night from 6 to 8 right here on 90.5 KCSU.
Watching Emmy Award-winning campus television, winner of the 2003 Heartland Regional Emmy Award for Outstanding Student Achievement.
This past weekend left many Ram fans wondering what went wrong. Despite the loss, though, the Rams' offense has a lot to look forward to this year.
For CSU's offense, it was a tale of two halves. To put it in simple terms, they got off to a slow start. In the first quarter, Justin Holland had as many passing yards as his team had first downs, and that number was 0. Once the Rams found their groove in the second half, though, they were almost unstoppable.
Justin was just what he's advertised to be, just what we thought he would be. They did a good job finding a rhythm for him and some play selections for him, and then he just put the ball right on the money.
By the end of the night, Holland had completed 29 of 41 passes for 403 yards. He was also responsible for the only turnover of the game, but bounced back well from the mistake.
I thought he did a heck of a job. He proved he can pass the football. David Anderson, all of our receivers caught the ball well.
The Colorado State receivers did put on quite a performance. David Anderson led the pack, catching 9 balls for 156 yards. Basically, anytime the ball was thrown in his direction, good things happened. Freshman Johnny Walker also had a big night, amassing 74 receiving yards and 1 TD.
They were making great catches all over the place. I mean, I was getting a couple of these guys lit up. And they just kept coming down with the balls. I mean, everybody was refusing to lose out there.
The running game was the only part of the offense that didn't produce. Starter Marcus Houston saw 20 carries against the Buffs, but only rushed for 44 yards. That averages out to be a measly 2.2 yards per carry. The Rams know that this needs to change for them to be successful. And who could forget the last play of the game? It's one that the Rams won't soon forget. A bit of confusion on the field turned a sure win into a loss. Things like this are bound to happen in the first game, though.
We're a team full of character, and we're just going to keep out fighting, and that's what we did. Unfortunately, there at the end, we ran out of time.
Despite the loss, the CSU offense has a lot to be proud of. Now that the first game jitters are gone, the possibilities are endless for this team.
The CSU offense actually outplayed the Buffs on Saturday. They finished the game with 447 total offensive yards, while CU only came out with 372.
Well, a lot can be blamed for losing on Saturday, but a lot of the time it is the defense that catches the rap. Let's take an in-depth look at how the CSU defense did on Saturday. In the first half, the defense struggled early. On the first drive, it appeared like they didn't even show up. The Buffs marched right down the field and ran all over the Rams' defense. Bobby Purify ran for 110 yards in the first half alone. And the Buffs looked like they had no trouble scoring as Purify runs in the first touchdown of the game. After that, it wasn't much easier for CSU. As CU charged down the field for the second time on their second possession. With some passing yards and fluent rushing yards, the Rams couldn't seem to figure out how to stop this early burst of offense. While trailing by 2 touchdowns heading in the second half, CSU caught a break. Big-time interception by Miles Kochevar turns things around for the CSU defense. In the second half, the Rams looked much better defensively. Right when Klatt and the Buffs looked like they were going to score again, it was Robert Herbert breaking up the pass and potential touchdown. This forced CU to attempt a field goal, and it was wide. A huge stop for the CSU defense. The rest of the game, the defense only gave up 3 points on this 55-yard field goal kick by Mason Crosby in the fourth quarter to make it 20-17.
They had a good plan against us. We were able to run the ball, obviously, the first couple of drives there and really get them back on their heels. But give them credit, they did a great job of getting pressure on me, pressure on the passer, and kind of got us off our rhythm a little bit after we had to sit. And they had a nice drive, and we had to sit a little bit, and we kind of got out of our rhythm.
We're into the home stretch now, but don't change that dial because, as always, we'll answer the ever-puzzling random Ram fact.
And with the Rocky Mountain Showdown in the rearview mirror, it's time to look forward to USC. And on Saturday, CSU will have to face, among others, a former teammate. Stay tuned.
Sorry. Good job. No, you're fine.
Place it, find it, buy it, sell it, rent it. All this and more with the Rocky Mountain Collegian Classifieds, as low as $4.50 a day. Call 491-1686, 491-1686.
For all the highs, and the lows, for every victory. From around the Mountain West and the rest of the NCAA. Your only source for CSU Ram sports. CTV Sportsfest.
Campus service officers are the eyes and ears of the CSU Police Department. They provide safe walks to all students and are available 7 days a week. To request a safe walk, pick up an emergency phone on campus, call the Safe Walk line, or simply ask a CSO on duty. CSOs patrol and provide walks from Constitution to Matthew Street and Prospect to Mulberry Street. To be safely escorted to your destination, call 491-1155.
One radio, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Zero commercials.
Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up.
90.5 KCSU.
90.5.
This is your student-run radio.
It is your student-run radio station.
On your FM dial. Run by students, for students. It's 90.5 KCSU.
In addition to CSU, the rest of the Mountain West also began play over the weekend. And fittingly, it was former Ram assistant Urban Meyer's conference champion Utah squad starting things off with Texas A&M last Thursday. Aggies and Utes in Salt Lake City, and this ought to give you an idea about what kind of night it was for A&M. Travis Latondris with the catch. Feel free to bring him down, boys. Anytime. Come on. Utes would go on to score and lead 21-0. Next Utah possession, it's Alex Smith going up top to John Madsen for a 38-yard strike. Utes cruising at 27-0, and yeah, wow was about all you could say. Finally, it's Smith once again, this time going by land for a 37-yard touchdown score. During the game, Smith threw for 3 touchdowns and ran for 2 more. Utah crushes Texas A&M 41-21. Smith finished with 359 yards passing in addition to those 5 touchdowns, and his favorite target was Paris Warren, who racked up 116 yards on 7 receptions. Elsewhere in the Mountain West, New Mexico blew a 10-point fourth-quarter lead at home and lost to Washington State 21-17 last Friday night. On Saturday, Air Force took one on the chin at home to number 14 Cal, 56-14. Wyoming taking on the heavyweight of the Mountain West Conference opponents in Appalachian State, they get the 53-7 win. San Diego State knocks off Idaho State 38-21. BYU gets the MWC upset of the week, beating Notre Dame 21-17. And finally, UNLV falls at number 15 Tennessee 42-17.
The Rams will have to get over their loss to CU in a hurry, because this week they take on the defending national champion Southern California Trojans. And with a preview is CTV's Scott McVeigh.
The Colorado State Rams traveled to sunny Southern California Saturday in a David versus Goliath matchup against top-ranked USC. The Trojans, who are riding a 10-game win streak and 15 straight at the LA Coliseum, returned 14 starters from last season's national championship team. Heisman front-running quarterback Matt Leinart leads USC's offensive attack with a 272-yard, 3-touchdown performance 2 weeks ago against then number 10 ranked Virginia Tech. Sophomore running back Reggie Bush and Chatfield High School standout Lendale White are nicknamed the Thunder and Lightning halfback duo and pose a serious offensive threat out of the backfield.
You know, 79,000 over there at USC. It's the Coliseum. I grew up watching USC football, and so it's going to be probably one of the favorite games of my career.
Defensively, Southern Cal brings consistency at every position, including linebacker Lofa Tutupu and freshman All-American safety Darnell Bing, both who had big games against Virginia Tech. Former CSU defensive end Frosty Rucker transferred to USC in 2002 and is a current starter.
A lot of us keep in contact with Frosty, from our freshman year. He came in with me. I'm looking forward to USC. I like the big games anyways. Frosty just play on their team, so I'm ready.
USC has a 37-4-2 record all-time as the top team in the nation. This is the first time since a 1981 loss to Arizona USC has been a number 1 team at the LA Coliseum. This is the very first meeting between the Trojans and the Rams, and the CSU Rams are 2-4 against the Pac-10 under Sonny Lubick, with a 23-21 win last year against California and a 21-16 upset win of number 4 Arizona in 1994.
Once again, it's the Rams and the top-ranked Trojans at the Los Angeles Coliseum. Kickoff at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Live television coverage will be courtesy ABC on KMGH Channel 7 in Denver, and live local radio coverage will be provided by the Colorado State Sports Network and AM 600 KCOL.
And don't worry, we haven't forgotten about the random Ram fact. Just to refresh your memory, the question is, when was the last time CSU defeated CU in Boulder? The answer, 1986, when the Rams were on the good end of a 23-7 final.
That will do it for this edition of Sportsfest. And ladies, don't worry, Doug Starkey will be back next week with all of the highlights from the USC game.
And don't forget to tune into CTV every weeknight from 8 to midnight for your latest news, sports, and entertainment. We leave you with a few more sounds from the Rocky Mountain Showdown. For Rich Rodriguez, I'm Brooke Schledowitz. Good night.
When it got closer and closer, then they were trying to run down the clock a little bit, and I've never seen anything like that in all the years I've been around football, something like that at the end of the game. So that was amazing.
I mean, both teams didn't deserve to lose. Both teams played great. Yep. It was a great game. But speaking for everybody on this team, Nobody gave up. Everybody kept fighting.
You know, we put this game behind us and get ready for next week's game. But I look forward to going out there, and we'll be ready. Our team has character. We're ready to fight.
News, sports, and entertainment. You're watching Campus Television, Channel 25, weeknights from 8 to midnight.